Assalamu alaikum everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Nida and I help people get into their self-love, self-development journey through sharing my writings, my experiences and everything in between. So let's get started. This is episode 5th of the Mindset Shift series where I share some mindset shifts that we need to have in order to level up. So the first mindset shift is that from saying, and this is usually true in a negative situation or when you are in a slump, from saying that I am a negative situation, for example, saying I am anxious or I am so overwhelmed, to saying that I feel a little anxiety but it is temporary and it will go away eventually, or saying that I feel overwhelmed right now by the situation but it will eventually pass, go away. Because when we associate ourselves with that particular emotion, we kind of make it our identity. That happens, you're telling your mind that I am this emotion, like I am an anxious person overall, or that I'm always anxious. And it really reflects into our everyday life because you've associated yourself with it, you've identified yourself with that particular emotion. So, with a negative emotion, one thing that you're not supposed to do is to not identify with it completely. Like, don't make it your identity. Tell yourself that you feel this thing and it will eventually pass, because that's how it is when you're in a slump or when you are basically in a low phase of your life. You're constantly telling yourself, oh, I'm so terrible. Instead of saying that I feel so terrible right now because of this and this, you tell yourself that I am so terrible. You're constantly telling yourself that you're something which in reality you're not, but because you're constantly telling yourself that you are that thing, you eventually become it. So avoid that, avoid doing this. By avoiding this particular thing, by avoiding telling yourself that you are this particular emotion, you just tell yourself that, oh, I feel this, but this is just temporary. This is for just a short period of time, and this is not who I am. This is just how I feel because of the situation or because of whatever reason. The second mindset shift is from saying, and this is for a situation where you have basically missed an opportunity. Maybe you could not get a job, maybe you could not get enrolled in that program or college or course, whatever. So instead of saying that I did not get it because I'm not enough, to it was never mine in the first place, because if it was mine, I would have never missed the opportunity. And I know you might have heard this a lot. You might have heard a lot of people say it, but it is so important that I could not skip it. Kid you not, from the day that I started to believe this, from the day I started to actually change my mindset and rewire my brain into believing and thinking that if I miss an opportunity, it is because it was never meant for me, or that there's something else which is meant for me, which is way more better than what I want right now, is the day that I started to become so calm when situations or things did not go my way. Because I've mentioned this before, as someone who was constantly overthinking, but that is where healing comes into play, where you don't try to control everything, every outcome, or every situation. So, since the day I started telling myself this in every situation that did not go my way, that maybe sometimes went south, or maybe just did not happen the way I wanted it to, I just told myself, I missed this opportunity because it was never mine in the first place. Because if it were mine, I would have never missed it. And it is so simple but so powerful, but we tend to forget it sometimes. We tend to overlook this thing. We tend to believe that whatever we are wanting, whatever we desire is actually good for us or is actually meant for us. But in reality, maybe it's just a lesson that is supposed to be learned by us. That brings us to the third and last mindset shift, which is a little bit related to the previous one, which is from saying or thinking that I got rejected from whatever situation or place that is because I lack in an area, to I did not get rejected, I got redirected. I find this so beautiful because years back I learned and I actually realized that rejections are just redirections from God. Since that day, everything has made so much sense to me about not getting what I want. And yeah, you might have heard this one too, but honestly, rejections are just redirection. I find it so beautiful because in times when we do not get what we want, we tend to become very sad and upset and hopeless, basically. Just changing your mindset from thinking that it was all in your control and you could not get it because you lacked in an area, to realizing that it was just a redirection from God. It was God showing you a better way, a better place, or a better opportunity. Feels really nice and comforting. So that is it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned something from it. If there's any other thing that you want me to talk about, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, stay safe.